I've seen clips of this kid on the internet basically breaking down how the fourth dimension works, and I had a hard time keeping up with it at the time. Maybe I had a short attention span. I just wasn't in the mood to sit down and comprehend what he was saying, but I found the full video here, man, and I want to go through it with you guys to see if we can really keep up and comprehend this fourth dimension thing that he's mentioning, which is a fascinating subject. So, without further ado, man, let's check it out.
Imagine that this folder is a dimensional plane. Now, assuming that it is no height and no depth, what would this mean? It would mean that it's a one-dimensional world. So if, hypothetically, an organism was living inside of it, it would only be able to move in a linear path forward and backwards in a straight line. Now,
Okay, stop right there. So, first off the rip, man, one dimension. It's one straight line, right? Okay, I can visualize that. You can't go sideways, you can't go left and right. It's just forward and backwards. That's the only dimension. There's one dimension, 1D. All right, I got you.
if we go to the second dimension, we have two dimensions. We have width and we have length. So hypothetically, if an organism lived inside of here, then it would be able to move up, down, left, right, and anywhere else in between. And a two-dimensional world is comprised of an infinite series of one-dimensional worlds stacked upon each other. Just as our three-dimensional world, which has depth and length and height, is comprised of an infinite series of two-dimensional worlds. So this now...
Okay, pause, because he's going fast. All right, so right there, 2D, all right, two dimensions. We said first dimension is straight forward and backward, okay? 2D, second dimension is forward, backward, and we can go side to side, width, right? So we got length and we got width, right? And you can do everything in between. And as he mentioned earlier, he said it's a second dimension is a stack of one dimensions on top of each other, right? There's a bunch of singular lines you can go that way, and then there's a bunch of ways you can go width wise, right? Are we keeping up, guys? I hope I don't lose you. I get it, but it's easy to get lost in this. All right. Now he's talking about 3D, and he said 3D, third dimension is depth. So you got length, width, and depth. That's 3D. That's the world we live in. All right, got it.
Now that I have stacked many folders upon each other, we have three dimensions. We have depth, we have length, and we have width. Now what happens if you keep going on from here on out?
Oh,
we would have a
shit.
four-dimensional world. But what exactly is a fourth dimension? In order to understand this, we need to understand how dimensions are perceived. We live in the three-dimensional world, but despite that, we actually view things to be two-dimensionally. Take a perfect sphere, for example. If you're looking at a sphere, it looks just like a regular two-dimensional circle. The only way that you can tell it's an actual sphere instead of a circle is because of the hues of light on it. So just like in a two-dimensional world, if a...
Hold up. This is some deep stuff right here he's about to get into, man. So, in a 3D world, we perceive things in a two-dimensional way. Okay, that's trippy. Let's see where he's going with this, because I kind of think I know where he's going, but let's see.
organism in the two-dimensional world was looking upon a circle, the light would make it appear to be lighter at one end and darker in the middle. Also, if an object is moving closer and farther away from you, you don't actually perceive that it's getting closer and farther away. You see that it's getting smaller or larger.
Ooh.
And then you assume that it's getting either farther away or closer.
Okay. Hold on. So, this is some deep, like, philosophical, observational type stuff right here, man. Because when you think about it, man, when something gets closer to you, you don't see it getting closer to you. You just see it enlarging. Like, my hand is getting bigger as it gets close to my face and smaller as it goes away. And it's kind of how we that's depth perception, right? So okay, I like where he's going. Let's see, continue.
But let's say that an object was to grow in perfect equilibrium so that it was growing at the same speed that it was shrinking as you move it farther away. Then you would not be able to tell without any lights or if there were details on the object that it's moving or growing at all.
Oh man, oh shit. So what he's saying right there is if an object gets smaller, it appears to get smaller as it goes away from us. That if it were to then actually grow in size as it's fading away from us, then it would appear to be the same size. And vice versa, if it's coming closer to you but it starts shrinking, then it looks like it's not moving, but it's actually getting closer to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping up. Are y'all keeping up? Attention span is getting challenged right now.
You may have assumed that since we perceive things to be in two dimensions, that a two-dimensional organism would see in one dimension. So, as we're watching this rubber band expand as it moves farther away from this little organism in the two-dimensional world, it does not actually perceive anything is happening to it because it's growing at the same speed that it's moving farther away. But since we can actually see it from the three-dimensional world and perceive things to be in two dimensions, we can see things for how they actually are.
Oh.
The reason that the two-dimensional organism doesn't see things the way they really are is because the two-dimensional organism sees things in one dimension, just how we, three-dimensional creatures, see things in two dimensions. So in a way, we don't really see our world the way it truly is. A four-dimensional creature, however, seeing our three-dimensional world in three dimensions, would be able to see through things, would be able to see absolutely everything, just as we could see if there was several organisms spread along a 2D environment on your floor. You would be able to see inside houses. You would be able to see inside of people. So if it's
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. That was deep right there. I probably should have paused it a little more, but I hope you guys were able to like see. It's like every level up in dimension you go, you have the ability to look. You can see clearly the dimension below you, right? So in 3D, we can see 2D things excellently, right? We can see through it, like you said. You can see through houses and see through people. Whoever's on the fourth dimension can see through all of us, right? Which I don't even. That's kind of where I'm getting lost, but obviously you can't really see these things because it's incomprehensible. We can only see things in a 2D way, as he said. So, all right, is your brain getting messed with? I know mine is.
two-dimensional world, a flat surface is just made of an infinite amount of lines. Then the 3D world is just made out of an infinite amount of planes. So the 4D world, logically, is made out of an infinite amount of 3D objects. Though they're not just put together like you would like building blocks. That's not how the 4D world is. That would just be 3D again. So in order to understand this, we need to understand the logical progression of mathematics in our world. Imagine that this connects piece represents the first dimension. It's simply a straight line,
Right.
which is basically what the first dimension looks like. And if you
Yep, first dimension. Forward and backward. No sideways action yet.
add three more of these straight lines and connect them so that adjacent sides are perpendicular and opposite sides are parallel, then you have the basic shape of the second dimension. You have a square. Now, if you keep going from here,
Okay, second dimension. We got the forward, backward, and then we got the sideways. Okay, that's 2D. All right.
and you add it so that there's a total of 4 squares, and all adjacent sides are perpendicular, and all opposite sides are parallel, then you end up with, obviously, a cube.
3D, baby. What's up with it?
So, if you try to keep going from here, and you would have a four-dimensional basic shape, you would have a what's called a tesseract. Now, I cannot show you a tesseract, but you need to understand that it's basically four cubes that are within each other that have all adjacent sides perpendicular and all opposite sides parallel. Yet there are four lines connecting to each vertex. So,
All right, buddy, that's when you lost me. All right, so and then he said he can't show me. Okay, so that's when I'm lost because now I need a visual, obviously, but you got to kind of use your brain, and your brain can't even comprehend this because it's not even in a dimension your brain has ever even lived in, buddy. Okay, so all right, so I get what he's saying. There's four cubes connected together. The perpendicular ones are perpendicular. The parallels are parallel. It's like, yo, son, what? I tried, man. He lost me there. I ain't gonna lie. I can't ask no questions. I mean, we can hit the rewind one more again. Let him say that again because that was tough. That was tough. Let me see that one more again, guys. Hold on.
lines and all opposite sides perpendicular that are within each other. That you need to understand that it's basically four cubes that are within each other. That
Four cubes within each other. Okay, what does that mean? What are we talking about? Four cubes within each other? You talking about like all the way in each other? Or are we talking about like they're connected, like one corner of each cube is got its foot in like the hokey pokey? You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? What are we talking about within each other? But okay.
have all adjacent sides perpendicular.
Adjacent sides perpendicular. Okay, first off, what does adjacent mean again? I gotta freshen up on my my vocab. Okay, adjacent, next to or adjoining something else. Okay. Perpendicular definition. Perpendicular, at an angle of 90 degrees to a given line, plane, or surface. Okay, I know perpendicular and I know adjacent. Okay, just needed to freshen up. All right, I got a lot of information in this brain. You got to freshen up sometimes. Make sure you're not too game goofy.
And have all adjacent sides perpendicular and
Okay.
all opposite sides parallel. Yet there are four lines connecting to each vertex. So, a tesseract.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. He talking about connected to a vertex, bruh. Yeah, I'm lost, man. Cause now I know what I think I know what a vortex is, but a vertex, bruh. I've been gone from school for like 12, 15 years, bro. So, uh, yeah, I'm lost, brother. But I kind of get what you're saying, and you can't picture this shape. So,
Would look somewhat like this picture.
whoa, buddy, hold on. Now we talking. He got some kind of drawings here. Hold on.
Now that's not exactly what it looks like because this is a two-dimensional depiction.
Oh shit, damn. That's where it's over, man. We can't comprehend the fourth dimension unless you got a crazy strong imagination to be able to visualize this in a manner that is 3D. Because obviously, like he said, it's a 2D photo or 2D drawing, so it doesn't do it justice. Nonetheless, hey man, thank God for somebody who was able to go through and draw this, because I still don't get it.
And obviously not all of the lines are straight. So I cannot show you what a tesseract actually looks like because we cannot perceive things in the third dimension. You cannot even imagine what a tesseract looks like. You cannot in your mind picture the fourth dimension or a fourth dimensional shape. And you can keep going on from the fourth dimension even. You can go to the fifth dimension, the sixth dimension, the 71st dimension.
Oh, stop. He said 71st dimension. Brother. We're on number 4, and that's a brain aneurysm. All right, so look, man, that is powerful stuff. The fourth dimension. I mean, come on, guys. Like, it's some stuff out here, man, that we can't even comprehend. And like, you got to be some creatures out there that can, you know what I'm saying, zoom in on your thoughts or whatever. It's crazy, man. Ain't no telling what that 70-second dimension is talking about. But, anyways.
It doesn't matter. Theoretically, there are an infinite amount of spatial dimensions. A common misconception of the fourth dimension is that the fourth dimension is time. Now,
I've heard that. The fourth dimension is time, which he's about to break down why that's not the case. But yeah, people just throw it in. Oh, it's time. It's like people, and then they say it like they're so smart, like they know. Like, how do you know the fourth dimension is time? You're just so confident.
some argue that by going forward and backwards in time, if you move forward the same distance and backwards the same, then you would end up in the same place you started, just like in the fourth dimension. And while that may seem logical, if you think about it, it really doesn't make sense. If you imply that the fourth dimension is actually time, well, first of all, time is not spatial. There's a difference between space and time, quite obviously. And assuming that all dimensions are according to a pattern, then that doesn't really make sense either, because saying the fourth dimension is time, every dimension has time in it.
Ooh, man, he just cooked y'all with y'all time experts. Fourth dimension is time. No, 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 no. They all got time. So what we talking about? Cook, young G.
So that would mean that the fourth dimension is special in some way, which doesn't really make any sense. Another reason this doesn't make sense is that we very, very, very slightly travel through time whenever we move due to the distance that light takes to get to our body. Now, if a group...
Hold on. Say that one more time, brother.
The distance very slightly travel. The reason this doesn't make sense is that we very, very, very slightly travel through time whenever we move due to the distance that light takes to get to our body. Now,
Oh man, and that's another brain aneurysm is this whole light concept, and it travels and it's the fastest thing ever, light, and we use it to dictate. I don't even know, man, but I love science, but damn, it's like you're getting your mind played with.
if a group of astronauts were to get in a spaceship and they were to go very, very, very close to the speed of light, then they went around in this impossible, nearly the speed of light spaceship for a few months, and then afterwards they returned to Earth. They would find that Earth had actually progressed a few years, so they had moved forward in time by moving that quickly.
Hmm.
Another interesting concept involving the fourth dimension is that many physicists and even mathematicians may say that the dimensions are very, very slightly curved. Because if you really think about it, nothing can be truly, absolutely infinite. So imagine that the first
Wow, nothing can be truly infinite. Okay, I like where this is going.
dimension, the line, is just very, very slightly curved, so that after a very long time, it will end up creating a circle. So,
Ooh, that curve. Everything got a slight curve, man, to come back full circle. That's deep. Why is that? Why can't? Yeah, because if it's a straight line forever, then that it's got to keep going. It can't stop unless it's like a limited length. But man, it's yeah, man, it keeps it curved so it goes around and it's all I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
as suggested by many physicists, if you keep going in the same direction, then you will end up where you started after a very, very long amount of time, obviously. And the same thing would happen to the second dimension. If it's just a square, and then you extend it very, very slightly in a curve, then it will eventually make a sphere. And the same thing happens in our dimension, except it will form a very, very slightly curved third dimension, which will form a four-dimensional universe, basically.
Bro, what does that even mean? What's up with the curves? Why I got a curve? You gotta come around, you gotta connect. Like, what we talking about, man? I mean, I get it. It sounds good, but like, I gotta ask these questions, man. Like, what? Why? Why is it got a curve? Why is it got to connect? Why it can't be straight?
So what this kind of means is that our three-dimensional world is within a four-dimensional world, and the four-dimensional world is within a fifth-dimensional world, and so on.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
It's like them Russian egg toys. Y'all ever see them Russian toys where it's like a lady and you open her up, she got another lady inside of her. You open her up and there's another lady. You know what I'm saying? It keeps going. Uh, so it's levels. It's levels to this stuff, man. So, hey, man, this 3D life, this is just the third. This level 3, man. And that thing keep going. That's a trip.
now, I did say that nothing can be truly infinite, but if this is true, and a dimension is really within another dimension, within another dimension, within another dimension, then I'm implying that there's an infinite amount of dimensions, which is the only problem I really have with this theory. I'm not sure if it ever stops or if infinity is really even possible. We don't know that.
Oh, wait.
Thanks for watching my video, and I hope this gave you a better idea of what the fourth dimension is.
Hey, appreciate you, Young G. Hey, y'all check out the video, man. Support him, man. I don't even know if he's, is this the guy? I don't know if this is the guy. Okay. Yeah, man, he stopped, man, stopped 12 years ago, man. Well, shout out to the Young G. Hope he's all good. I heard the internet always says stuff. I heard something happened to him, man. So hopefully nothing happened to him. But nonetheless, man, hey, I don't know about y'all, but my mind feels like it's been played with. Hopefully you guys got some better understanding of that fourth dimension. And I'm gonna go read a book or something. Peace.